Guys, welcome back to Samuel's Table where your voice is heard. Guys, it's been a long time since we've last recorded. We do apologize, but we are back with season 2. We're back and we're better. And today, I'm with a man who is my big brother, my friend. This man doesn't even need no introduction. He's the youth pastor of PRMI, End Time Revival Youth Ministries as well, and resident pastor of the Manor House branch as well. I'm here with my brother, Prophet Josiah Otchere. Sir, thank you for coming. How are you, sir?
I'm blessed by God's grace. How are you?
I'm brilliant. I'm younger and stronger every day. I'm younger and stronger every day. So welcome to the podcast. Welcome to our new season 2. Yeah. So to get things going, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some quick fire questions. I'm just going to say some word association. We'll play a little game, word association game. And so I'm going to say a word and then you just say what you think about that word. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Cool. Revival.
End time.
So, revival, end time. Okay, Ghana.
Good food.
Nigerian jollof.
Amazing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Ghanaian or Nigerian?
Nigerian.
Really?
Yeah.
And you're Ghanaian?
Yeah.
Wow.
Nigerian's more consistent.
Hey!
Yeah.
You're therefore starting a debate today. You're therefore starting a debate. Okay, church.
Home.
Man United.
Disappointment.
Family.
Everything.
Youth.
Vibrant.
Okay. Love.
My wife.
My goodness. Okay. All right, cool. A few more. Okay. Football.
Passion.
Okay. All right. We like that. Fire.
Power.
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 All right then, sir. So thank you for taking part in that. So we're just gonna get straight on with this interview. So talk us through your journey. Who is Josiah Otchere? Who are you?
So I'm a 25-year-old young man, originally from family from Ghana, born in Hackney.
Okay.
But been living in South London my whole life. And that's for my journey. I've been in church my whole life. Born in church. My dad was a Sunday school teacher. My mum's been singing in the choir. So brought up in church. Heavily brought up in the Bible. God-fearing parents. And yeah, I think when I was young, growing up, I was playing football. So going to church started decreasing. It becomes a problem. And I felt out of love with church.
Oh,
I
wow.
didn't fall out of love with God.
Okay.
Just church, not because I was church hurt or anything. Just football. Football was
Your main
my
priority.
main priority. So started going back to church around the age of 15, and that passion for church was just crazy. Like I'll go to church by myself 3 times a week. I'll go to all night services. I'll come back home, but I was still in the world at this time. So I just developed a passion for God. That's where I met my spiritual father. I started just going to the church, and I think in 2018, that's when I decided to give my life to Christ. May 2018, so it's 6 years this month. Yeah.
Oh wow, 6 years. Wow.
Yeah. In the world, messing around, all of these sort of things. So I was like, let me take God seriously, and I went on like a 3-month fast.
Wow.
Fasting and praying. These times I wasn't working. I left the university. I dropped out of uni, so I was just not doing anything, looking after my nephew, just fasting and praying, seeking God for His word. And then 3 months later, got given a go ahead to lead a youth ministry. I didn't know what I was doing.
Oh wow.
But here we are now, 6 years later. God has been faithful.
God has been faithful. Wow, God has definitely been faithful. So talk us through. Did you pray for football? Do you play for Do you play for a football team? Like, was you Sunday league? Did you even consider going pro? Was you even close to coming pro before even deciding, say, you know what, this is not what I've been called to do?
I think so. I started playing football from the age of 6 or 7. Sunday league. Used to play up front, so scoring goals,
striker.
So football was, I love playing football. And when you're young, you just playing football just for football's sake. You you don't really think about academies and all these
And
things.
all
It's just
that,
about, oh, one day I want to play football. So as I was growing up, started becoming more serious, got opportunities, trials with a few teams here and there. And when I went to university and I came back, I started looking to play semi-pro football.
Okay.
So I was training on one team called Tenby Town, semi-pro team around where I live. So I was training with them, ended up, they wanted to sign me.
Oh.
But at the same time, I received a prophecy from Prophet Onyeka.
Okay.
And he prophesied to me saying that God said I should stop playing football because he wants me to do ministry. And at the time I was confused because...
You're like, what?
What, like... yeah, I'm serving God properly and I know that one day God is going to use me later on, like after I finish playing football.
So when you retire?
Yeah. But it's like, no, God said now.
Oh,
so
wow.
I said, oh, like, you know what, cool.
Say no more.
Yeah, let me follow the prophetic word. What's so crazy is that about... This word probably came in like July.
Oh, wow.
And the week after I went to church, my spiritual father was just like to me, I want you to start youth ministry. He didn't hear the prophecy. He wasn't there. He wasn't aware. He said that the next week, I want you to start youth ministry.
Wow.
And then in about the October, the team that I was supposed to sign for, they ended up folding.
Oh, wow.
So as a whole team, as a whole club, as an establishment,
They just folded.
they folded.
So would you say that's divine timing then?
And timing. Because if I was playing for them,
Maybe you would have...
I would have been ended up nowhere.
Wow.
But the way that God did it was so divine.
Wow.
So I think, because I received words in the past that, I was going to become a footballer, but limitation, spiritual limitation, but not just that. I wasn't too serious. I wasn't too serious, like, you drink, you smoke and all these things. So if I'd focused, I think something would happen. But obviously, God's way is the best. So things happen for a reason.
That's good. So talk us through your mentors. Who were your mentors, or who still are your mentors, who's helped you in your process, in your journey?
So obviously, my spiritual father. I think I first ever met him. My mum joined the church in 2007.
Okay.
PRM. And I used to think, who's this man that he's screaming and shouting like this?
Was he a typical Ghanaian preacher?
Typical Ghanaian preacher. They preach with fire. Thinking, how's this guy? But the one thing was that the prophetic anointing that he carried. You're young, being 10, 11 years old, and you're seeing somebody being able to call people, mention people's names, prophesying things actually happening. So I was like, that left the sort of
wanting more.
Yeah, wanting more. So I was just attracted to his ministry. Like,
Wow.
Just the way he was, the way he preached, the way he was so radical about evangelism, spiritual warfare. I was like, well, I want to be like this man when I'm older.
Yes.
I want to be like him.
Wow.
So yeah, like, he's been a blessing to my life. He's changed my life.
Wow.
God's used him to change my life.
Wow.
And obviously I met Prophet Onyeka about maybe like 2016, 2017. And I was thinking, this young man is so vibrant, like, he's so radical.
Yes.
Like, he'll be on the train, 5 p.m, Tottenham, he's just praying on the train, people are staring at him. He's evangelizing. I'm thinking, who's this guy? So he had a youth ministry in Tottenham.
Yeah.
Just attend, and I just loved the fire that he carried.
Mm.
And since then, he's been a blessing to my life, mentored me, trained me a lot, and helped me. And I've been inspired by so many people's ministries. Archbishop Duncan Williams.
Okay.
So many people. I just watch so many people. That's how I've been. So yeah.
Okay.
That's me.
Wow, that's powerful. So, you said 2018. That's when you decided to give your life to Jesus fully.
Yeah.
So that's almost 6 years ago. 6 years ago
Yeah.
this month, and you also mentioned that you're now, obviously, your spiritual father told you to now start a youth ministry. Let's talk us through your first Sunday as a youth pastor, as a youth leader. Sorry, before you became a youth pastor, as a youth leader, how did you go? How was your preparation? Was you feeling nervous, or was you? Talk us through that week. Talk us through that week.
I think, from what I remember, obviously, so we had some young people in the church we announced, okay, we're going to start services every Sunday. So what we'll do is we'll have service before main service from 3 till 5. Main service will start at 5:30. So the custom was, because the church building that we use for our North London branch, we have to set up. So you have to get to church around 2:30, 3 o'clock. Sometimes the church before us, they'll finish late. So you have to take out all the stuff.
Yeah.
We had to put up curtains, all the instruments. So we didn't know what we was doing. So it was like, you know what? I think we did, the first one was probably like a conversation sort of service, you know, typical youth church.
Typical youth.
And yeah, we just build. You know, those times it was hard. This is pre-COVID. So we were just pushing. Social media wasn't active like that, but
it was
ministry
actually,
stuff wasn't really too on social media like that. So
yeah.
we're trying to, you know, bring young people. You know, young people these times, they're not really trying to come to church. So most times have about 10 people, if that. If you see 15 people in those days in a service, you'll be excited. 20 people, but these times we're just pushing, just preaching, praying. So yeah, it was the ghetto, but it was the training, it was the foundation.
That was your training ground.
Yeah. And I thank God.
Wow.
We needed to go through that. Yeah, ministry isn't to get to the lights and the stage. Takes years. But God has been faithful.
God has been faithful. So you preached your first sermon. How did you feel?
I think my first sermon was based on Matthew 6:33. Seek first the kingdom of God. And because I had been through a time dryness, I wasn't working, but not earning no money. I was just seeking God. You know, so I understood that this is the platform to get deeper in God, to get higher in God. Seeking God, so preached it. You know, Matthew 6:33 is a common.
Come on.
But yeah, that's what really started what we have today, where we are today.
Wow.
So yeah, I think that wasn't the first time I preached. The first time I preached was actually, we used to have a branch in Barking, East London.
Okay.
So I got asked to preach, and I was shaking, nervous. I still have the video. One day
video.
I'll post it. I was stumbling. I didn't even know what I spoke that day, but that gave me the foundation, and then
the confidence, and then wow. So let's talk now. COVID. That's where your ministry really took off. So during that lockdown, that's where we really saw PRMI, you know, the youth ministry now taking off. We're also seeing your ministry as a personal minister taking off. So talk us through, you know, that lockdown period. So when the government announced that, you know what, we're going to close down now. We're going to shut the whole country down. No meetings, no that. How did it feel? How did it personally affect your ministry? Or did it just encourage you to go even deeper? Or because obviously later on in the year, your ministry took off from online. So walk us through how do you feel during that COVID?
So COVID was a hard time, but the Bible said that what the enemy meant for evil, God turned for good.
Yes,
and that's what I can say for COVID. COVID, I think the last Sunday before COVID, obviously, there was whispering, so you know that people were confused.
What's going on?
That day, not a lot of people came to church, even a youth service. You know, it was only of the leaders that came. So we preached on live. We used to preach on Periscope those days. So we preached on live and
Periscope. Wow,
yeah,
I've come a long way.
Yeah, preached on Periscope and we just preached in front of a camera. So COVID, obviously, we realized like there's a lockdown. So we said, you know what? Let's continue. There's Instagram Live there. So let's just preach on Instagram Live, Periscope, Facebook. So I remember we bought this ring light that stands. We have 3 phones. So we preached on Sundays, 3 till 5. Instagram, Periscope, Facebook. Then on Tuesdays as well, we'll preach from like 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And then Friday night, we'll just do all nights on TikTok. And that's where it started growing. Like, people watch, like I said, on Instagram, these times you only had about 100 followers or so. And like about 10 people would be watching live and would think, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Then the Friday nights, we'll do it like an all-night show. Preaching, prayers, and just prophecy. Let the Holy Spirit flow.
Mm-hmm.
And Instagram, these times, it wasn't like now where you can go on for 6 hours at a time.
You have to
It was
stop,
1
start.
hour.
Stop, start.
Yeah,
Stop, start.
stop,
Stop,
start.
start.
So we were doing it, and people, the Friday especially, people just started joining. Before this time, I started prophesying, but I was still growing, and I'll say fear was there. But on the Instagram, the Holy Spirit just flowing, like prophesying to people all around the country, different places, and you see the live going 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, and it just boomed. It just boomed.
Wow.
Internationally, people just started watching. And I said, you know what, let me start preaching on my own platform, my own page. Evangelist. Preaching. People are just being touched, testimonies, abundance. God is just doing things in the life of people. Crazy miracles around the world.
Wow.
You know, sometimes when we say around the world, it may just be 2 nations. Nah. Africa, the Caribbean, Asia, Europe. God is just doing crazy things. And yeah, that's where God just gave me a name.
Wow.
You know, so COVID, of course, for the world, it was bad. But
It was
God,
bad.
in my life and what God did in the ministry, that's where all the people, before COVID, we had about 10 people, 10, 12 people in our youth ministry. After it just boomed.
Wow.
People just started trooping in. You know, people started coming from all angles. People were willing to travel from other countries just to come. You know, so, yeah.
Wow.
So the hand of God.
This was the hand of God. Wow. So, obviously, we see now COVID now. If you see now COVID now, your ministry is now booming. We're seeing now, you know, things are going well. So when, obviously, we know that during 2021, that's when we were allowed to go back into church. So talk us through, obviously, because I remember when we got told that we were allowed to go back to church, it felt weird going back into the building. And you know them ones, they were very strict of us on singing. So when you guys, because you know when people are praying, the people like to go so imagine now you have to pray in your mask now. So talk us through, obviously that was going to be probably your first youth service back after COVID. So talk us through the preparations that went through preparing, you know, before going back into church. What happened? What was the procedures that you did? Even your first in-person sermon. How? Just talk us through it. How did that go for you?
I think, was it 2020 that we could start church again?
2021, like it was like May, like April, May times. Because I remember when I used to work in hospitality, we were allowed to serve people from towards the end of April, beginning of May, and we went back to church in June. Okay,
so obviously my spiritual father was doing online
already in the building. Okay,
so we were going there on a weekly basis to just support. So then church started opening. It was weird. Everyone's sitting spaced out.
Yes.
We had to do 2 services, main services, in the South London.
Okay.
In our Croydon branch, our headquarters. So we do morning service. Then after, people that couldn't make the morning service, maybe people from Manor House will come. So it was long, you know. You get to church around 8. You're not leaving till 6. You know. But it was good. It was just serving, you know, serving. So we hadn't started youth church these times. We were just doing it online. Okay. So I think we started our first youth service. I can't remember, but we did it, and we were just announcing people to come. And surprisingly, new faces, you know, people that were watching on live. They came, and it was good. Now, I remember that day I got my kaftan. My mum went to Ghana. I think of 2 years before, so. Kaftan, I was there.
Was it tailored?
Yeah.
My goodness. Preaching. My goodness.
And,
was it all white?
All white. All white. With the Ghana flag. We got a Ghanaian symbol. Yeah. So it was good. Like, I was like, okay, wow, like, it's different, you know, because in Manor House, we didn't have a pulpit, or we didn't have mics. We didn't have instruments.
Yeah.
You know, but now in the South Branch, we had this.
You had all the things that you
all the
needed.
things that we needed. Projector, you know,
So you
all
can
these things.
yeah.
Yeah, so it was like, wow, okay, this is good. Like, this is what it feels like to do ministry with, you know, just equipment. You know, so pushing. People, more people started coming, and the growth, you know, just boomed.
Wow.
Yeah.
My God. So, just real quickly, we're just gonna. So how important has your family been in this journey for you? How important, like from your mom, dad, siblings?
My parents, they gave us a good foundation. Gave us a good foundation. Like I said, my dad was a Sunday school teacher, so he knew the word. My mom was in a choir. And it's not like, you know, some people, their parents just go to church, but that's it. Once they leave church,
That's it.
No, but my parents, they raised us up well. You know, they were strict, but they weren't too strict. You know, yeah, some people, yeah, they go through it. But my parents were fair.
Yeah.
They gave us education. They allowed us to do things, but they always pushed Christ to us. And obviously, you've done the journey with my sister. I remember, like, when we were young, we would be about 4. We had something called drums and music. So my sister could always sing.
Yes.
So she would just be singing praises, and I'll play drums with my, you know, like the bunk bed. You got a ladder.
Yeah.
So the ladder would be the symbol. I get my shoe boxes, the creams. My mum would always complain. But we're just doing.
I think that's where every drummer has started.
Yeah. So we just do like drums music. We used to preach together, like use deodorant. I don't know why.
No, I feel like obviously I'm a PK, so
Yeah.
that's how I started. I
Yeah.
used to preach with deodorants.
Yeah.
And not even deodorants. So I used to get what's it called? It's like a tube.
Yeah.
And then I'll get a tennis ball and I'll cut it in half.
Wow.
And I'll put it on a tube.
Yeah.
And you know how you got the mic protectors. I used to think that the mic protectors, having a mic protector was amazing.
Yeah.
And I'll be preaching like that in my garden crusades.
Wow. Literally, like, we would use the iron board as a pulpit.
I used the slide.
And she would read the Bible for me. And it was just, it's God, in it. We was like 7, 8.
My God.
We didn't know what we was doing.
She was your interpreter.
Yeah. So literally started the youth ministry, and she was assistant youth leader. I was leading with somebody else. And there was 2 assistant youth leaders. So there's 2 main leaders, 2 assistant youth leaders. And the 2 that were assistant and youth leader, they ended up leaving.
Okay.
So that's like me and her. But we're best friends. Which is so crazy because we used to hate each other. But she's been a blessing to my life,
Okay.
to my ministry. And yeah, my family been so supportive. Like, my family, they honor the grace
Wow.
of God. You know, my dad, he can kneel down and say, "Son, pray for me."
Wow.
My mom asked me, "Pray for me."
Wow.
You know, if my older brother that's not in church like that, you know, at times he'll come to me, seek for prophetic words or seek for words. Oh, can you hear?
Yeah.
Words of counsel. All these things. So yeah, my family, they've been nothing but supportive, and I thank God. Not everybody gets it like that.
Okay.
Some people find their ministry being fought by their own family. Some people are not allowed to go to church.
Yes.
But you know, God has been faithful. So yeah, I thank God. My family have been amazing.
Wow.
I love them so much.
Wow. God bless them. So we now move to 2023. 2023, so ministry is going well, and it's been now a year since you got ordained as a prophet and as pastor. Talk us through the leading up to the big day. So talk us through when you received the phone call from your papa telling that you're gonna get ordained and consecrated. What was going through your mind?
You know, so I think we'll get into it later, but
yeah, we'll get into that part later. So talk us through that moment. Talk us through that moment.
So late 2022, things just started turning around, like for my favor. You know, I met the woman now I'm gonna marry.
We're gonna get to that in a
Yeah,
minute.
literally, as soon as we started dating, doors just started opening. It was crazy. So in the January, my spiritual father said, I want you to preach on one midweek service. This was a Wednesday. So I think he told me like a week prior. So I was like, all right, cool. It's my first time ever preaching in a main service.
Yes.
So I was feeling a bit nervous,
You
spiritual
know.
father watching is a big thing. But that day I fired.
Hey.
That day, there was a move.
Yeah.
Prophesied on this pulpit in front of him. And people were just shocked. So I think about a week or two after, he told me that, I'm gonna ordain you.
Hey.
And to me, I was thinking, like, he said these things before. And like, to me, of course, I know like it's important, but I was already doing the work of God, you get what I mean? So he announced it in front of the whole church. And
Wow.
I was like,
wait, what?
Whoa, like, and he was like, I'm gonna make you the resident pastor of the North London branch.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, this is crazy because at the time I was 24, sorry. So that this is too mad to be happening. So again, I thought maybe it's something he would delay to another time. So he was like, I hope you're preparing yourself. You have to get yourself a new suit, this and that. And I was like, whoa.
This is actually happening.
So on the day, he's like, we have to do, flyers, all these things, because it's going to be a big, big moment. And when it came to the day, I was like, wow, is this my life,
Is this actually happening?
Church was packed. My friends that don't even go to church,
They
all came out to the Sunday service. We had to get food for after, refreshments. And I was like, wow, like, it's mad, going to Manor House. I remember you came.
Yeah, we were.
Also, Joseph came.
Yeah, we were there at the Manor House one.
And it was just like, this is surreal. Like, and after it's like, what next? Like, but yeah, it's so crazy how God can do things. There's some things that you pray for, but God's time is the best.
Yes.
You can be in church praying, fasting, but when God says it's your time, it's your time.
It's your time.
Sometimes you ask God, like, you see other people that you look up to, or other people at your age, and you see them doing things. You're like, God, so when is it going to be me? But everybody's on their own journey. At the appointed time, God will come through.
Amen.
And, my appointed time was last year.
Wow.
So
now I remember I was there with Apostle Joseph.
Yeah.
We were there for your first service at Manor House, resident pastor. So now you've been ordained. You're now resident pastor at the North London. How did you? What was going? Like, how did you feel?
So what's so crazy is, remember, I grew up at our church has had two branches, our main branches, North London and South. So South, I never used to go there. I would go to Manor House. And Manor House is where we was doing the youth ministry. And obviously COVID cut the youth ministry there short. So we all just migrated to South. So I thought my time in North London was done, But it's so crazy how what I started there and I didn't finish, God brought me back there.
To finish.
So I was like, wow, like, God, the way you do your things it's so mad. It's so mad, So Manor House, obviously there was not any young people there. So I was thinking to myself, hey, so me, I've been used to preaching to young people now. Young people are vibrant, they got the energy and stuff. What am I gonna do? What stuff am I even gonna preach? But the Holy Spirit is our helper.
Yes.
And for God's grace, in a year being there, it's just been amazing. You learn. Preaching to young people, preaching to old people is so different. What I preach to youngsters, you're at the beginning of your life. So I'm preaching to you about, your faith, learning to pray, spiritual warfare. Of course, we also speak about career and we speak about things we're going to do to impact older people. They're past that stage, and learning the difference. I feel like God has been training me. So the time will come where God will do even more in my life.
Yes.
for young people and old people. So to get that balance,
Yes.
it's been amazing.
Wow.
And I thank God. You know, it's not easy. You don't get free time, but yeah, it's God. Sometimes we look to the end goal, but we forget about the procedure and what we have to go through. Everyone goes through training. You can be serving in your church, being an usher. God is training you. You can be playing instruments. God is training you. You can be just a prayer. God is training you. You know, so yeah, all these things that God has done, I thank God. I'm privileged. Many people would want to be in a position that I'm in at my age. You don't get many people that are my age doing what I'm doing, and I understand that. Yeah, it's not because of me. It's not because of how skilled or how gifted I am. No. It's God's hand. You know, so yeah, it's been an amazing story, and I'm thankful to God.
Wow. Amen. So, as you probably heard the man of God say, his soon-to-be wife.
Soon-to-be.
My
God.
So, how did you guys meet?
Hey, it's so crazy. So the first ever time we met was in 2019.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she was going to a church. I won't mention the church. Like, she was going to let me not even call it. Let me say an establishment.
Ayaka.
Which a lot of young people were going to at that time. But because of one or two scandals, everybody left.
Yes.
So she was looking for a church. But because of the establishment that she was in and the sort of things that she went through and experienced, she became very apprehensive about any church. So she came. So somebody invited her. And I think I spoke to her after the service. I was just trying to speak to her, make her feel comfortable. It was just rude to me. I was thinking, what's going on here? Like, barefaced. She's just questioning me because obviously, because of the church that she's left. Yeah, because of the church that she's left, she's so like
I hear it. No, I hear
standoffish.
it. No, I hear it.
You know, so I was thinking, whatever. So she came again. She came to our 31st crossover night. I didn't really speak to her like that. I think it was just a high and by thing. So I was like, whatever. But when she first came, I was thinking, yeah, you're nice, you're good looking, but you're rude. So whatever. I was saying this girl's not correct. So I think about 2 years later, 2021, 2021, she started going to Prophetic Power's church.
Okay.
So I saw her there and I was like, oh, I remember this girl. I remember you came to visit my church, but I never spoke to her. So she was coming. I think she started serving. I don't know if she was ushering or she was media team. So I was like, whatever. And at the time, I was actually in a relationship myself. So I was like, cool, whatever. So in October 2022, the relationship that I was in ended. It just ended. And that October, I was fasting and praying. I was like, God, you know what? I'm tired. I can't keep I'm wanting to get married. Lord, just let me get married, you know.
Lord, take the wheel.
Yeah, just take the wheel. So I was fasting and praying. And it was Prophet Onyeka's birthday. So they did like a
little celebration.
Yeah, celebration. So I went. A few weeks prior, okay, so she followed me on Instagram. Because these times I was doing Midnight Cry. So I think I prophesied to her.
Those were powerful, by the way.
Yeah.
Those were powerful.
Bring them back.
Yes.
And I think I prophesied to her in live, but I was like, whatever. So I saw her in church because she started following me. I saw her in church and I was like, oh, hi, Lakeisha. And she could see that she was shocked. She was a bit taken aback. I spoke to her, small, but that was it. And I followed her back. But I wasn't doing that, thing. I was just like, oh, you go to my mentor's church, so let me just follow you. So, on his birthday, not knowing that this was a strategic move by her, but there was food, so I went to the microwave to heat up the food. And she said she strategically positioned herself there because she had dreams and seen God told her that I was supposed to be a husband,
Hey,
but she never said anything.
my God.
She was just praying. Isn't this thing, ladies?
Uh-huh.
If God reveals something to you, just pray and wait for God.
Daddy prophesy.
Yeah, because the Bible said that a man will leave his mother and father. A man will leave his mother and father.
I don't think they heard you, Daddy. Please
Yeah.
repeat it one more time.
Some ladies, they're too fast. They're too fast. You know, so
My God.
we were speaking, and obviously it was celebration. You know how churches, you can stay there till after midnight sometimes.
Yes.
So we stayed there until about 3 a.m. Everybody else was talking. We were just speaking for about 3 hours, 4 hours. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, so she went home. And I was like, you know what? Let me just send her a message. I was like, oh, hope you get home safe. I think the first day that we spoke was the same day that my ex ended the relationship.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But I didn't have no intention to speak to my now fiance. So I messaged her saying, hope you got home safe. In the morning, was just texting. Started sending voice notes, and I was like, you know what?
VNs.
Yeah, this is Instagram though. I'm like, you know what? I'm not too much on Instagram, so just give me your number. And
Is that you dropping gems? Yeah.
Just give me your number, and let's speak on it. So we're speaking, and the thing is, though, you have to listen to the voice of God. God told me not to speak to her on the phone, like on a phone call. Hey. God told me not to speak to her on the phone for about 4 weeks. We had just had an interruption.
Sorry. We'll carry on. Let's carry on. Yes, sir. So don't speak to her on the phone for...
Don't speak to her for like 3-4 weeks. And I shouldn't take her out.
Okay.
So we're just speaking on the phone, texting to voice noting. And yeah. I think the first day I called her, she was pressuring me. She was like, so what is this? I was thinking, hey, already. But I fell in love quickly. In like 3 weeks, I knew that, yeah, this girl, I'm marrying this girl.
Aye.
And I would tell her, like, I'm in love with you. And she was thinking, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Yeah. You know, but...
Straight to... Patrick, he's straight to the point, isn't it? He's straight to the point. He's like, yo, bro, that's it.
Nah, I knew. I said that this girl, I've never met anybody like her.
Wow.
No, like...
Straight to the point.
Yeah.
Hey.
She's beautiful.
He literally just said, yeah,
I'm
in love with you. Rah.
So we said, okay, you know, start talking. I think we went out. The first time we went out, I took her on a date to STK. It was expensive, but I was like,
he went straight to the point.
Yeah.
A win is a win.
Yeah. I said, yeah. Let me. It's like you're almost sort of hypnotized when you beat the one. You're there's a confirmation, you know. So I took her out, and she went to Jamaica, you know, and for a couple of weeks. So when she came back, started going out speaking. And yeah, it was just going out on dates every week. Just wanted to see her all the time. Got to a place, we see each other 2-3 times a week.
Wow.
And yeah, like
we're here. And then that evening where you asked her to be Mrs. Otchere.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind? Talk. Just talk us through that week.
So I think I'd met her parents. Twice. Second time I asked them for their hand. So I told her that the plan is to get engaged before the ending of the year. But I don't know. Not that I was stalling, but I was thinking, you know, maybe I should just do it this year, 2024. So how I'd done it was like, I told her that, you know what, my sister's going to be getting proposed to. So we're going to my sister's proposal. So
hey,
yeah,
it's strategic.
Yeah, she thought that, okay, you know what, it's done. I'm not getting proposed to this year and stuff. So I hired out a school to do it. I used to use it as a venue. I bought so much stuff, so much decoration stuff. My sister, her now fiance,
guy,
Joss, Desiree from church. they helped to just decorate the whole place.
Shout out to everyone.
Yeah, shout out to all of them because they were coming to video it. So I remember on the day, obviously they're everyone's helping to set up the place, but they're taking long. So we're in Croydon now. The place is not too far from my church. Because how I said it is that, my spiritual father, he wants to have a meeting with us in church. Because initially I was going to do it in my church. But I was like, you know what, let me just hire somewhere else. So obviously I told her on the day that, my spiritual father can't meet us, he's ill. But he was in Ghana these times. So when Croydon in McDonald's just waiting. Because I'm asking them, is it finished? Is the place set up? They're like, no, wait half an hour more. So I'm getting annoyed.
You're getting frustrated.
Yeah. But she ain't thinking anything. She's just watching EastEnders. She's none the wiser. She's none the wiser. So we're going to the place now. And when we're going in, I'm like, just get ready. My family's going to be there, but don't be nervous and stuff. I was fine. So we walk upstairs, we go into the room, and my sister opens the door, and my fiance is. When you see the video, my fiance is confused because
what's going on?
She's like, "But you're supposed to be getting proposed to." So when she walks into the room and she sees the pictures of me and her, and the decorations and the music, she's just so shocked. And a few weeks before, we had gone ring shopping, and the ring that she wanted, it was pricey. And I was like, I'm not getting it for you. Like, I'm not spending that sort of money, but because of love,
you did.
I got it.
Wow.
And she saw it. She was so shocked. And after we had planned to go to, after the proposal, I thought, I'm gonna say this, and this. Nah, it doesn't work like that. I froze on the spot. So I was just waffling. And I asked her, we took the pictures and everything. It was amazing. We were supposed to go to a restaurant after, but it was like, you know what? Let's just go back to my house, watch a film, order pizza.
Everyone's there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Literally.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah. That's what it was.
Now you're going to get married.
Yeah.
Wow. So we're coming towards the end of our interview. Thank you again for taking the time, for coming down and being an absolute blessing to us. What advice? So I want to ask for just a few wisdoms on ministry and obviously towards, someone that's courting, going towards marriage. Obviously, not giving marriage advice, but just like, what advice would you give to someone that's courting and someone that's courting and that's in ministry? What advice would you give them? Obviously, we're both the same age, and so what advice would you give?
I think you're a man of God yourself. It's hard to find the right one. You always get told stories that, be careful of certain women, this and that. And I had that problem where I was a woman. How can I say this? Because this is going out. Not everybody can marry you, and you can't marry everyone. Someone can be beautiful, good character, but they're not for you. You have to, as a man of God, being in ministry, I believe that you have three wills. So you have the will of God, the will of man, which is permissible will of God, and the will of Satan. If you do the will of Satan, you're finished. The permissible will of God, which is the will of man, maybe you marry another Christian just because they're a Christian, is okay. There's nothing wrong with that, marrying another Christian, but it won't be perfect. But when you have the perfect will of God, which is God's will, there won't be problems. So me and my fiance, it's so crazy that she's not in ministry, but she just gets it. She didn't grow up in church. She didn't go through what I went through, but she just gets it. She gets me. She lets me flow. She's supportive. Anytime I go to Minister Summers, she's so willing to come, and sometimes you have an idea in your mind, this is who I want to marry, but God has a completely different idea. I said I'm not going to marry a Jamaican. She's Jamaican. Do you get what I mean? I thought I was going to marry someone that's preaching, doing the work of God. She's not preaching, doing the work of God, but she's serving God, and God is blessing her. She's so blessed. So when it comes to courtship and ministry, I'm finding pray, seek God. Seek the counsel of your leaders, your spiritual father, your spiritual mother, your mentors. If they don't agree, that's the first sign. If they don't agree, sometimes you fight, oh, but you don't know, I'm in the situation. No, they've been in the Lord. They know more than you. You know, so, yeah, when it comes to that side, courtship, finding a person to marry, just pray. Don't stress yourself. Sometimes we're too hungry, so we date. And then the next thing you know, you've ended up dating 5-6 people. And you begin to get a name. But you're not a bad person. Just wait on God. Let God lead you. And when it comes to ministry, being a young man, you know, humble yourself. Humble yourself. Ministry isn't about the mic. Preaching is about 10%. Everybody can preach. Everybody can open the Bible and preach. To prophesy, it's the grace of God. It's not yourself. Ministry is deeper. It's about being a people person. Ministry is about the outside. It's about off the pulpit. And you need to be trained. Don't tell me that you're starting a ministry and you don't have a spiritual father.
Say that again.
Don't tell me you're doing ministry and you don't have anybody mentoring you. You don't have anybody to rebuke you. There's many young people that are starting ministry and people pamper them because they're gifted. Oh, it's fine. You can do whatever you want. And these are the young people that end up crashing. This is where scandals can come on your name. And so many people have started ministry. You can go on Instagram and you see many ministries. The last post was from 2022. The last post is from January 2023. Why? Because they started, but because of lack of training, they fallen out of ministry. You know, so to be long in ministry, I'm only 6 years in. That's not even that long.
No, literally around the same time as me. Literally same time, 6 years.
But you have to humble yourself. Serve. Just because you start preaching doesn't mean that you don't stop what you was doing for your father before you stop doing that.
Facts.
Still to this day, my spiritual father's not around, but I'll go to his house and I'll clean his whole house from top to bottom.
Wow.
I'll iron his clothes. If he wants me to prepare food for him, I'll prepare food for him.
That's good.
I write down his notes in his book for him. Any sort of things he wants me to find out for him, I find it out for him. If he tells me to do something, I'll do it. You know, so it's about humility. If you want to go far in ministry, be good with people. Be careful about your associations. It's not everybody you become friends with. I don't have too many friends in ministry. You're amongst one of my friends. I have few friends. It's not by force. You can get along with everybody. In the kingdom, we're all brothers and sisters, but we're not all meant to be friends. We're all meant to be brothers and sisters. We're not all meant to be friends. Choose your associations carefully. Don't force yourself. In the name of preaching, I want to connect myself to this person so I can preach on their platform. No, let God do it. Let God do it.
Yes.
You know, and at the appointed time, God will bless you. God will expose you. Don't force yourself. Don't force it. You know. So yeah, ministry it's a long journey. It's a long journey, and there's so much things to learn. Just humble yourself before God, before your leaders. God will lift you. That's the advice I can give.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir, for coming down.
No
your busy schedule, and we are praying for you. We're praying for you and your future soon-to-be wife.
Amen.
Hallelujah, we're praying. So thank you very much, guys, for tuning in to Samuel's Table. You can watch us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well, and all other podcast platforms as well. And thank you very much. Shout out to my guy Patrick at the back there for the media. Yes, sir. Shout out to him. And we will be back soon with another episode of Samuel's Table where your voice will be heard. That's a goodbye from me, sir.
God bless you guys. God bless you, Evangelist.
Thank you very much. Bye for now. Bye. Thank you very much for watching Samuel's Table. If you have been truly blessed, please like, comment, and subscribe and share our YouTube platform page. You can also follow us on Instagram on samstable_, where we're going to be keeping you updates with the new episodes that's going to be coming. Maybe a few trailers and a few teasers as well. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Peace, bye, and shalom.